Imagine a world radically different from the one we know today. A planet where people lived for hundreds of years, where giants walked among men, and evil seemed to have no limits. This is the world before the biblical flood, an era that blends fascinating mysteries, impressive legends, and an eternal warning for humanity. Get ready, because today we're going to explore what the scriptures and traditions tell us about this enigmatic period. But before we begin, make sure to subscribe to the channel, and activate the notification bell so you don't miss incredible content like this. Now, let's embark on this journey to the past. According to the Bible, the world before the flood was a unique period in the history of humanity. In Genesis, chapter 6, we read that humans multiplied on earth and that wickedness spread alarmingly. But what exactly was happening? To understand, we need to look back at the characteristics of that world. First, people lived much longer. Adam, for instance, lived 930 years. Methuselah, the oldest man mentioned in the Bible, reached an incredible 969 years. But why did this happen? Many theories suggest that the planet's environment at that time was entirely different, with conditions that allowed for greater longevity. Some believe the Earth was surrounded by a kind of vapor canopy, protecting humans from solar radiation and creating an ideal climate. One of the most mysterious aspects of the pre-flood period is the Nephilim, mentioned in Genesis 6 verse 4. They were described as giants, the offspring of the sons of God and the daughters of men. But who are these sons of God? There are many interpretations. Some traditions suggest they were fallen angels who rebelled against God and united with human women, creating a race of giant hybrids. Others believe the sons of God were descendants of Seth, Adam's son, and that their union with the descendants of Cain brought about this corruption in humanity. Either way, the Nephilim symbolized the height of moral and spiritual decay of that time. They dominated the earth with violence, and their presence was one of the reasons God decided to cleanse the world with the flood. The book of Genesis also tells us about the widespread corruption of humanity before the flood. The Lord saw that the wickedness of man was great on the earth, and that every intent of the thoughts of his heart was only evil continually. Genesis 6 verse 5. It wasn't just a matter of individual behavior, but an entire society immersed in sin, violence, and idolatry. Imagine a world where justice and goodness were rare. Jewish and Christian traditions point out that this was an era marked by abominable practices, including human sacrifices, black magic, and rampant abuse of power. This desperate scenario makes us reflect on how far humanity can go when it turns away from God and His principles. Another intriguing point about the pre-flood world is the possibility that it was more advanced than we imagine. Some traditions suggest that humanity of that time had access to profound knowledge, including astronomy, engineering, and medicine. Enoch, for instance, is cited as someone who walked with God and received extraordinary revelations. His book, though apocryphal, mentions angels teaching divine secrets to humanity. Could this knowledge have led to the construction of advanced cities and technologies now lost? Some even theorize that the megaliths and mysterious structures around the world are remnants of an antediluvian civilization. Amid this chaotic scenario, the figure of Noah emerges, described as a just and upright man in his generation. God chose him to build an ark and save his family and representatives of all animal species. But building the ark was no easy task. It took decades, and during that time Noah was also a preacher of righteousness, warning people about the coming judgment. Unfortunately, no one listened. They mocked Noah and continued living their lives as if nothing was wrong. This rejection of God's warning is one of the saddest aspects of the flood story, showing how the human heart can harden against the truth. Finally, the flood came. All the fountains of the great deep were broken up, and the windows of heaven were opened. Genesis 7 verse 11. Water came from all sides, covering mountains and destroying everything on earth. But what really happened? Some scholars believe the flood was a global event, while others suggest it was a large regional event that impacted the known world at that time. Either way, the central message is clear. God brought judgment upon a corrupted humanity, but also provided a means of salvation for those who trusted in him. The world before the flood is not just a distant story or an ancient legend. It serves as a mirror for us to reflect on our own time. We live in an era of impressive technological advancements, but also face profound moral and spiritual challenges. Just as in the past, we are called to choose between righteousness and corruption, between listening to God's voice or ignoring it. What lessons can we learn from Noah's story and the flood? Are we prepared for the challenges of the present and what the future holds? If you've made it this far, congratulations. Now you know much more about the fascinating world before the flood. Leave a comment sharing what you found most interesting or if you have any questions. Also, don't forget to share this video with your friends and spread this knowledge. Make sure to like, subscribe to the channel, and activate notifications so you don't miss our upcoming content. See you in the next video.